On Monday and Tuesday of this week, campaigning got off to a strong start at the sabbatical officer candidate debates in SUHQ. Students were invited to put candidates to the test, and the question time format allowed the audience to get to the heart of manifesto promises. Current SAB, Steph Jones, commented on the high standard of questions this year, and the candidates for governance and finance were the first to be placed in the line of fire. Andy Perkins, Rich Belfitt, Michael Jones and James Hilston all demonstrated great concern for the impact of the current economic climate on student living and wanted to push for greater involvement with student democracy. But the debate that followed the initial speeches went some distance in highlighting discrepancies in candidate knowledge of issues. Let's take a look at some of the key points of the debate.
Hi everybody. As Chris said, I'm Andy Perkins. All the time I've been involved, one thing that's kind of bugged me quite a bit is the fact that unions' democratic structures just don't work efficiently. My first priority, if I was elected, would be to completely revamp the system.
However, I'm campaigning for a cost-effective union that spends when it needs to and doesn't leak money. So I want a representative union with decisions that can be influenced by every student on campus and actively engages with our national union of students.
I'm not going to say things that are going drastically wrong and I need to totally overhaul the entire system, because by and large things are running okay. It's just the little bit that needs to tweak here and there.
I'm trying to hopefully look for change on things that affect people on a day-to-day basis, sort of make their lives easier as well as sort of bigger changes. We need to consult students more to find out what issues they really want debating and bringing up.
How do you propose to get more students involved in union democracy?
I think one of the main things that's been a problem has been communication. People are put off by the lengthy agendas, they're put off by the time and the commitment involved. So if everything was a lot simpler, I think it would attract a lot more people.
I think communication's the big thing. We need to work a lot closer with the student media to make sure that people are hearing about union council and union politics and when it's on.
I think what we've got at the moment is working reasonably, as we've shown with the record referenda and general meeting turnouts this year, so I don't really propose to do anything other than what's already being done.
I think that we need to somehow make it a more accessible system as well as sort of just looking at publicity sort of side of things. Having something that maybe people don't have to turn up to a big meeting, to a debate, just to get their opinion and voices heard. Maybe look at sort of more online system.
Next up, Alex Twist, Nicola Mulvoy, Leo Matlock, Laura Holden and Seb Reed were up for the position of sports officer. Both Alex and Laura came across as confident and engaged in sporting issues here at Warwick, where perhaps Seb and Nicola were less comprehensive in their plans for improving sports groups. Perhaps unsurprisingly, SCORE dominated a large section of the questions from the audience, with concerns raised over the need for an alternative Wednesday night in the union. Here are the highlights from the debate.
One of the key things I think that maybe Sport at Warwick has not delivered quite yet is trying to make it really available for everyone. Not necessarily just those people who are going to go out there and play a very high standard.
Some of my own policies, however, first of all is putting together a sponsorship handbook. I was thought advertising home games. If you're not going to get involved in sport, definitely support it.
I really want to get to hear what the sports clubs and individuals that exist at Warwick have to say. I want to be accessible to them and eager to help implement what they need and what they want, because at the end of the day they have an everyday use of sport at Warwick as well, and I need to hear what they say and help make it happen for them.
I really want to raise the profile of sport at Warwick. We should be proud of our achievements here. We're home to many talented athletes and teams. We need to push this and not shy away from our achievements.
Clarity, commitment, communication. These three words go straight to the heart of my manifesto policies. In the end, let's be clear about this. The sports clubs are here to play sport, not fight through red tape.
Just in one sentence, what your main priority would be for the year?
Basically, it's just investment in resources and facilities, all sports, all levels for all students.
Basic profile, listen to your views and just get everyone involved.
Clarity, commitment, communication. Easing the communication between the sports clubs. A commitment to help make them feel listened to, and clearing up existing ambiguity.
Trying to make Warwick sport available to everyone, no matter their level, just as long as they're keen. They have the avenues and facilities to do that.
Holding sport together?
Monday's debates were rounded up with the position of communications officer. Up for the election this year are Tommy Precious, Isaac Aqua and Andrew Horder, a group of very different personalities but with very similar ideas. Let's take a look at some of the key points in the debate.
So firstly, I've worked to improve the communication between the union and students by creating a union Facebook application. So another idea is to make it easy for students to communicate with the union is to set up an easy to remember text number. And finally, making sure that sections of the union are kept open during holiday times.
I want next year that every student knows that their ambition should not be limited by finances. So as a communications officer, I'm there for you to be your voice and to make sure that money is not an issue.
I'm going to break my policies down into 5 different parts. First one, better communication. Number 2, let's increase publicity. 3, involvement in democracy. 4, diversify entertainments. 5, we need strategic offers.
Question to all candidates. There was a suggestion made earlier on about having an alternative night to school. Something going on campus at the same time that was available for students who weren't particularly keen on circling with the sports society. What do you make of that as an idea?
Well, as I said in my speech, I'm for diversifying events, and I think that if we get more people into sport, it will be viable for us to have another room.
Obviously with the new building, it'll make it easy to split into sections. So, for example, having a small section that open for a different type of night. Really, yeah.
Next year, with the new venue, we have to split into different sections. So we'll definitely have score as the main one, and different night in those sections.
How much do you think your role should be involved with the commercial services of the union?
I know a lot about how this union is run, and it's actually not that a lot. You basically integrate with the entertainments team and work with them rather than dictate at them.
Well, I'll say it's 50-50, not just entertainment, but just all the commercial aspects, especially with the whole recession credit crunch.
Well, I guess it's just about communicating with students about what events they want, and then once events have been set up, communicating to them what they are and bringing them in.
Tuesday's candidate debates began with the position of Societies Officer, with all the candidates displaying extensive involvement with many of the 230 plus societies here at Warwick. O.J. Hemmings was confident and critical, where James Hall, whose campaign has been characterised by handing out a multitude of socks around campus, demonstrated a great depth of involvement with performance-based societies, and his performance was personable and earnest. Esther Jardim's performance was notably weightier in the debate due to her defensive approach, where Andrew Horder came across as knowledgeable and enthusiastic. Here are the highlights from the Societies Officer debate.
I'd like to talk mostly today about communication. I know that's not the role I'm running for, but it is important in every aspect of the union. I'd like to make use of all the publicity opportunities available to societies, such as the multimedia, the TVs that are in the grab.
Societies need to work together to maximise the impact that they can have on campus. The union has massive resources that a lot of societies don't realise that we have.
Societies are going to have tight budgets, but I believe that shouldn't prevent them from doing anything they want to. Societies should be cheap and fun to get involved in, and they should be easy and rewarding to run.
Promotion, getting society's priority within the union, and encouraging both the union and the university to use societies wherever possible. We need to recognise that societies are an integral part of university life and should receive fair treatment regardless of the size of them.
Very quickly, can you just give one way in which you would improve communication?
Well, I think we need to make sure the society websites are up to date, but obviously that's up to the execs themselves in a lot of cases. I also think it would be nice to create some sort of inter-exec forum where execs can contact each other.
I think we're quite overstretched as to how else we could market societies. I think so far we have everything in place, it's just now for societies to know that these forums are available.
One idea I quite like is the president's meetings, because I find a lot of things get done depending on who you know. So these sort of meetings get people to know each other, or improve communication between the presidents and then inter-society events.
One other thing that I'd like to do is a directory on the union website which societies can keep up to date, can add to, of local resources that they use, because a lot of them use the same people and they all have to discover them separately.